It's been 8 months since I picked up the Fuji X100VI, and throughout that time, it's become my most used camera. I take it everywhere I go when I travel just to document daily life stuff, and I use this as a secondary camera when I shoot sports, specifically soccer, when I shoot the fans, or just any wide shots throughout the game. In this video, I thought I'd share my overall thoughts on the shooting experience and what I like and what I don't like about the Fuji X100VI. I guess a fair place to start is the price point of the Fuji X100VI. At least for my camera, I got it for 1700, which is the retail price. I was super lucky to only wait just 2 months since it launched, and I know how hard it is to get this camera. I know there are a couple of people that are still waiting to get their hands on the Fuji X100VI, and recently my good friend Jorge Sanchez, he just purchased his Fuji X100VI from a local camera store for around $2,000, which I think is decent. You know, he didn't have to wait. He just went to go to the store and picked it up. Next, we have the build quality on this camera. One thing that I enjoy the most about the Fuji X100VI is just the form factor of this camera. It's so light and compact. I can put it in my pocket if I wanted to, drop it in any backpack that I have, or just strap it around my shoulder and not really feel the weight of it. This is my first ever Fuji camera line, so I've been using Sony as my primary cameras, specifically the A7 series. So the A7 series are obviously bigger cameras, bigger bodies, and having the Fuji X100VI, which is slightly smaller, just gives a nice feel to it. It doesn't really feel as heavy. I also enjoy the design of this camera. It's a rangefinder. I just like how it looks. I know it doesn't matter because in the end, what matters is the quality of pictures that you produce. But yeah, I think this also makes a really good travel camera. I think if you're looking into buying a small camera, this would be it in my opinion. It's because it doesn't really take up a lot of space, so I think it would be perfect for that. Now moving on to the image quality on this camera. For the amount of money you're paying for the Fuji X100VI, I personally believe it produces really good pictures. Again, this is my personal opinion, so take it as you will. Although it's a crop sensor camera, the 40 megapixel that is built in does go a long way. I think if you're coming from Sony or Canon, I guess you do have to lower your expectations slightly when it comes to quality, but nevertheless, you still get quality images. Video wise, it's surprisingly very good. I've only tested out recently on my trip to New York, as you can see, so I'll let you guys be the judge of it. One last thing I really enjoy is the colors that the X100VI gives you. I know we still have to talk about the film simulations that's built in, but I'll save that towards the very end. So to wrap things up, is the Fuji X100VI a good camera? Yes, it's a great camera in my opinion. I love using this camera these past 8 months. It's been a really good secondary camera, specifically to my needs when I'm shooting soccer matches, especially like when I'm shooting the fans or the atmosphere around the stadium, and also as a main camera when I go out to do street photography, landscape, or just day-to-day stuff. I think what Fujifilm managed to put in this tiny camera is pretty impressive, considering what type of photos and videos that you get off of this camera. I guess the real question that people ask or people search is this camera worth it? Is it worth the hype? Obviously, this camera is labeled as the TikTok camera? I think that's a really hard question to answer. It really comes down to preference, in my opinion. I think it's worth it. I mean, I enjoy the camera regardless of what people say. And I feel like what I'm trying to say is if you have the resource and funds to purchase this camera and it's something that you've been eyeing for a long time, I guess don't let people's opinion decide the outcome if you do end up purchasing this camera. If you like it, get it. And if you don't, then don't get it. It took me a while to understand, but I guess what makes it really, really good about this camera, what makes it special, is I guess it's just the film simulation that's built in. You can do all sorts of recipes with it. You can tweak it. Obviously there's a couple that's built in, but then you have the recipes that you can make it into, like a Kodak Portra 400, Cine Still, Ilford black and white, whatever the case may be. And I think, like, if you're an average, if you're just planning to use this camera as a day-to-day, and you don't want to edit, you don't want to do anything with it, you just want to snap a photo and get instant results with the film simulation, because I guess that's what everybody wants to do, then I think this is the perfect camera. Obviously maybe there are better cameras, like somewhat similar cameras for like maybe cheaper prices, and you can get it easier on the market. But again, in the end, I think, like, if you really want this camera, then I think you should go out and try to get it if it's possible. I know it's still kind of hard to get it. Again, this video was never meant to break down like the specific specifications of this camera. This video is just more of like me sharing my experience on using this camera these past couple months. And yeah, I think if you did enjoy this video, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments. If you have one, let me know what you think. If you're planning to get one, if you have any questions, drop a comment down below. I would love to chat and just kind of like talk. So yeah, again, thank you so much for sticking around until the end. If you did, drop a like, and if you can subscribe, I mean, it's free. But yeah, thanks again for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.